Did you know the Tudor Queens held secrets so shocking they could rewrite history itself? Prepare yourself, because by the end of this story, you'll uncover betrayals, obsessions, and decisions that bay us that still send ripples through time. Let's dive deep into the shadowy corridors of the Tudor court, a world where ambition ruled, secrets thrived, and survival came at a deadly cost. Let's begin with Anne Boleyn, the captivating second wife of Henry VIII and the mother of Elizabeth I. History knows her as the woman who changed the course of England's religious destiny. But what if I told you Anne wasn't just a pawn in the game of royal marriage? She was the ultimate player? Anne didn't just want to be Henry's mistress. Oh no. She demanded more. She dared him to make her his queen, and in doing so, she triggered a chain of events that would shake England to its core. But was her rise to power as innocent as it seemed? Anne's enemies whispered of witchcraft, a claim dismissed by historians, but one that speaks volumes about the fear she inspired. Her magnetic influence over Henry was undeniable, so much so that the king broke with Rome just to marry her. But here's the twist. Anne's downfall came with accusations of adultery, incest, and treason. She was thrown into the Tower of London, her fate sealed by a web of lies and betrayal. Was she guilty of these crimes, or was she merely the victim of a carefully crafted plot? Imagine being in Anne's shoes, utterly alone, surrounded by enemies, and knowing your life now rested in the hands of the very man who once adored you. What would you have done? Let us know in the comments, because this is where Anne's tragic end begins. Yet, despite her brutal execution, her legacy lives on in her daughter, Elizabeth I, one of England's most powerful monarchs. But Anne's story isn't the only one drenched in secrets. Let's turn to Mary Stuart, better known as Bloody Mary. History paints her as the bloodthirsty queen who burned Protestants at the stake. But what if there was more to her reign than the monstrous reputation we've been given? To understand her cruelty, we need to look at her heartbreak and betrayal. Mary was the daughter of Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, and when her father abandoned her mother, he stripped Mary of her birthright, her title, and her identity. Imagine the emotional wreckage of being cast aside by your own flesh and blood. Wouldn't you crave vengeance? When Mary finally ascended to the throne, she wasn't just seeking to restore Catholicism. She was out for justice. But was she truly a villain? Or was she a woman driven to extremes by the wounds of her past? Behind the bloodshed, Mary's personal letters reveal a softer side, a woman who longed for love, who believed her marriage to Philip of Spain would be her salvation, only for it to end in despair. Mary's tragic phantom pregnancies left her humiliated, childless, and heartbroken, believing she'd failed both her God and her people. How much pain can one person endure before it shapes their entire destiny? Now, let's talk about Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen. Her reign is often hailed as England's golden age, but beneath that regal facade, her life was anything but fairy tale-like. Her mother's execution was a wound that never healed, and from a young age, Elizabeth learned that trust was a luxury she couldn't afford. While she ruled England with brilliant political strategy and unmatched intellect, her personal life, a tangled web of forbidden loves, political intrigue, and unanswered questions. Take Robert Dudley, for example. Was he just a loyal advisor, or was there something far more dangerous between them? The sudden death of Dudley's wife, Amy Robsart, was wrapped in scandal and speculation. Could Elizabeth and Dudley have orchestrated her death, for their own gain. While the evidence is circumstantial, the rumors spread like wildfire, threatening Elizabeth's rule. And then there's the mystery of Elizabeth's virginity. She famously declared herself married to her kingdom. But was this simply a calculated move to maintain power? Or was there something deeper, something more secretive at play? The truth remains an enigma that haunts historians to this day. And don't forget Catherine Parr, Henry VIII's final wife. Catherine is often overlooked, overshadowed by the drama of Henry's more infamous marriages. But she survived a treacherous court. Barely. Highly educated, fiercely independent, and secretly supporting Protestant reforms, Catherine made dangerous enemies. Accused of heresy, she narrowly avoided execution. But the real scandal came after Henry's death, when Catherine married Thomas Seymour, a man with far more ambition than loyalty. Their marriage was a minefield of power plays, tensions, and rumors. Catherine's untimely death in childbirth robbed her of the chance to see the consequences of her risky decisions. So what's the common thread among these queens? They all lived in a world where the slightest mistake could lead to death. They played a game of survival, using their intelligence, charm, and sheer resilience to navigate the ever-shifting currents of Tudor politics. But it's their secrets, their deepest fears, desires, and ambitions that truly define them. Now, it's your turn. Which Tudor Queen story shocked you the most? Was it Anne's rise and fall, Mary's relentless quest for justice, Elizabeth's tangled love life, or Catherine Parr's daring survival? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more untold tales from history. Because let's face it, history is never really behind us. It's full of lessons, mysteries, and dark secrets, just waiting to be uncovered.